Good evening and welcome to a celebratory Nuggets Europe. I'm Michael, drunk on tiredness after a full day of no sleep and work. McQuaid, delighted to be joined by Voya in Nebraska, who clearly watched the game at an acceptable time. Benjamin, who I think is also tired, even though I got the names mixed up again. Oh my God. Welcome, lads. And Brad as well, who is clearly supporting the Avs tonight. Gentlemen, welcome in. Welcome in.
Good evening.
Thank you for having us.
Top of the I don't even know what time it is anymore, to be honest, but folks, if you're watching this, thanks very much for joining in. I told you last night it was going to be, I'm only joking, I didn't have a clue last night, but I said it was going to be tight, and my God, it was tight. 80-70 the Nuggets go on to play the Clippers next week, a game which the two gentlemen at the bottom might have more of an interest in, because lads, Sky Sports don't have any excuses anymore. The Clippers are on, so they're going to have to put the Nuggets and Clippers on, aren't they, every game? So
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
The Sky Sports NBA bias is over. Voya, let's start with you, man. You must be absolutely buzzing, because I am.
Oh yeah, I know, man. It's crazy. I'm still seeing that ball roll, and I don't know if it's gonna go in or not. And every highlight I watch, it's nervousness, and I don't know. I don't know why they always do this to us, and it's always these kind of games. I'm happy to be a part of it on the winning side, but I can't imagine what the Jazz is feeling. It's just
yeah. But you were very confident last night, boy, weren't you? On the not last night, sorry, on the Serbian show the night before. You were very confident.
Well, we're doing like, what were we hoping for? And I'm like, well, we're due for a blowout, so let's go by 20 and calm our nerves, and we don't have any stress. And it was going there, and I was like rubbing my hands. I'm like, I'm gonna be I told you so guy. And then they started letting the lead go, and then I was, they're doing this again, aren't they? It's the Portland game again.
Yeah, it was nuts as well, man. Like the whole thing was just like, I mean, Benjamin obviously is a guy that lives for the Nuggets, seeing Jokic hit that game winner and just really excelling. I know it wasn't like we've seen a lot of Jamal Murray in this series, but for Jokic to come big in Game 7, you must be a very happy man tonight.
Oh, for sure. It had to be him, didn't it? I mean, it had to be. I don't think Murray had a bad game, but he wasn't shooting the ball well. And if Murray wasn't going to step up in the way that he has been, it was very unrealistic to predict another 50-point game. But he wasn't shooting the ball as well as he had been, and Jokic just put the team on his shoulders and said, "Okay, I'll take it from here."
And there is the shot from last night, lads. You can see my awful screenshot skills here. But obviously, with 30 seconds to go, look at it. Look at the turn there.
Oh, it's just pure.
I was listening to ESPN. Someone said it's called a ground hook.
A ground hook. I like it. I like it. Maybe it's a Serbian thing, boy. I don't know.
That's the Serbian hooker, right? That's the famous Serbian hooker.
Yeah.
Here, Benjamin. Sorry, man. Brad, man. Look, guys, I have to me. Like, if you want to have a laugh, go to my Twitter account this morning. I'm like, hello, everyone, welcome. Brad, pretty busy few days, because I know you were on the Broncos broadcast last night, and now obviously on the Nuggets one tonight. You obviously seen the game this morning. A bit easier than watching it live, isn't it? Because you don't have that initial fear.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier on the heart when you've seen a result and then you can watch it through nicely. It's a little bit easier. These early starts of mine don't help me much with these late games. But when we spoke about the Nuggets in the preview show yesterday, I did say that it was going to be the Jokic show, and it lived up to the billing, and it really was. I mean, everyone else did their little parts, as Ben said. The shooting wasn't great from anyone, I think it's quite safe to say, apart from Jokic. And I mean, it was even a quiet game for Mitchell. To be honest, I thought maybe he might have pushed it a little bit more, but they kept him quite quiet. I don't know, what did he get? 22? Was it 22?
22.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's good going from, he's gone from 57 to 50 to, he's kept him quiet in the last 3 games, which is good. So, but yeah, now roll on the Clippers and let's see if we can do it in 7.
Well, 9 or 10 people watching this live, folks, on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you want to get involved, leave a comment. I see Milan has left a comment via saying, "Hey, you Gore." I think he means "Hey, you guys," but hey, Milan, we'll see you on the Serbian show next live. Here, Benjamin, I can't go on without showing everybody this. Obviously, I had a good laugh in work this morning seeing this. It's over, guys. No more of this. Look at that. Like, look at that. Look at the pull on that.
Yeah. Well, you say that. You say no more of that, but we've got the Clippers next. They'll probably get a lot more.
I think with the Clippers, I just think it's going to be more hard hitting. You know, I mean, you got guys like Montrezl. It's not going to be as sly and as sneaky as a little hand on the, because that's what I feel like. You know, and I'm not going to sit back and say that I don't think Rudy Gobert is an incredible defender. I think Rudy Gobert is an amazing defender. You know, and you know he has won 2 Defensive Player of the Years for a reason. But you just see the way in which he gets away with controlling the man with his offhand so often that I think my reasoning behind that tweet was just, it's just going to be nice to not have to see that and see him get away with it. Because, you know, if it's hard hitting, it's hard hitting. It's the playoffs, we expect it. But these little things are just, you know, they're a little bit more frustrating than you know, hard hitting playoff action. So, you know, it will be nice to get away from that little offhand tug of the jersey.
Yeah, that's that defensive player of the year reputation. Like they assume he's gonna do a great defensive play,
exactly,
and then you see what's going on. It's the permanent plant of the offhand on his lower back. Like that's the trademark of the good defender on the post.
Voya, it was a very hard series in the sec. I know, like any series that goes the full way, Game 7 is difficult, but so many ups and downs, like crazy. And you wouldn't be forgiven for thinking at one point, you know, is this team done? Because I didn't think that. I always believed. I've seen a lot of tweets this morning from boys. Oh, I'm really sorry, but really tough. Like going down and going up again. It's not easy. And surely the Nuggets, even though they play again on Friday, lads, I want to say
Thursday.
2 a.m.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on here. Hold on. Who thought that was a good idea, putting all these games at 2 o'clock in the morning? I mean, come on.
Brutal.
How dare anybody? I'm only joking. But yeah, guys, like Voya, like very up and down series. Do you think they can maybe take that experience now and more experience in the playoffs and really give the Clippers a good go? Like,
I mean, I think they do. I don't know what the problem was those 2 games. I mean, I was the first one as like a guy from Serbia that was, for me, it was still inexcusable how Jokic handled the 3rd game. And I don't know if that was like a boycott to Malone or like, hey, change something because this is not working. I'm not going to play like this. Or was it just a bubble malaise or whatever it was? It was just inexplicable compared to what they did later. I hope they can take advantage. Like we've seen the Nuggets just play up to the competition or down to the competition as much as it's necessary. But for once, I would like them to see them excel and take the matchups that they have and act as if they're the contenders for real. Because we know they're good and they know they're good, but they're always kind of playing to the bare minimum of what's necessary to win. So they're going to be tired, which might mean they might just stop thinking and go out and play and just hit a lot of shots, because this was kind of a big emotional down after all this and a kind of exhale. And I wonder if they think now they're playing with house money because it's the Clippers and no one assumes them they're going to win, so they can just let loose. You know, Gary can hit some shots and Torrey and like Grant can keep up, and hopefully they can do that. And I think they can, because the Jokic matchup is they don't have anyone to guard him. So I think that series is on that matchup of how he decides to take a hold of the whole series. And if Murray can keep up with 20-25 points on a regular basis with some clutch performances, they could get away with the series. Like it's not, we've seen Clippers they're not invincible. They see Luka tear him up without Porzingis. And we don't have a Luka type ball handler that just strong enough to take over that way. But Jokic can take over the game anyway on a matchup. And Murray, it was surprising to anyone that he can have a 50 in him. And Luka didn't have a 50, so who knows?
Well, we've seen our friend Jeff Morton say there Nuggets in 2, which seems to be a regular. If Jeff keeps doing this, we will win at the whole thing. Brad, I want to. All right, guys, I want to talk about obviously the Clippers game as well. Brad, I want to really go quickly here. I mean, if Conley puts that in, and wins the game.
Yeah.
Sweet jeez.
Well, as we spoke in the pre-show, though, that if they go back and see that Gomez steps out of bounds, we don't have to worry about that shot at all. But yeah, I mean, that's the bit of luck.
Still,
And Craig missing a layup. I mean, come on. I mean, seriously, these things are the way they go. But yeah, we're there. We're through. Don't have to worry about the Jazz anymore till next year. Let's ignore them, put them in the past, and kick on.
Benjamin, take that L on the way out, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just thinking about that foot on the line, like, that wouldn't have been called, and you can't challenge it because it's not a call. So we're all looking at that foot on the line saying if that ball goes down, then that's all over Twitter today. That is just, and I don't think Torrey Craig would have been allowed back into the city.
Poor Torrey. I don't think it's even. I mean, it's a ball that he missed. But man, Murray, that you can't do that to the guy. It's a role player.
For sure, yeah.
Absolutely. You throw the ball, and it was even a little bit off on the left hip. It was, and you can see him jumping for a rebound. He already thought Murray was gonna lay it up, and he's already 2-step on a rebound, and you get him the ball on the hip, and he's like going up and trying to lay it up like full speed. I'm like, oh, if you don't, he's not paid for that. That's not his salary. To make those 2-second shots.
I mean, what I was hoping for was, Murray's a 90% free throw shooter, or as close to 90% as you can get. Like, hold the ball, man.
Yeah.
Hold the ball. They don't have any timeouts.
Just take a foul.
Just clutch it to your chest like a running back, And
hold the ball, don't drop the ball.
Yeah, just don't move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. But here, actually, I don't want to talk about the NFL, lads, but it looks as if the Nuggets are going to play Game 7 the same time as the Broncos opener, which means nothing to a chat, but that's going to be a pretty messed up night in Denver if that is the case. Could you actually imagine if that happens?
So, talking of NFL, getting the ball and all that, there's another Game 7 tonight. What do you think about Lou Dort signing for the Broncos as a running back?
Here, I would take as much help as possible right now and hope that at some point that might help us in that way. Just to confirm, gentlemen, I don't want to butt in too much here, but the Nuggets and the Clippers is on Sky Sports on Friday morning. There you go. Sweet. God, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. All right, I'll start the whole Irish chapel here thing now. But there is a God. 2 a.m. Well, 3 a.m. if you're Miroslav or Milan watching this, but I don't know. Here, I'll start. You know what? We'll ask this question to all of you. I know why you have mentioned it previously, but one of the main things is Evan from Denver Stiffs was on last night, and he was talking about the fact if it did go, if the Nuggets did go through Game 7 and then play the Clippers, he thinks that they would potentially struggle because the Clippers are more, I guess, more tough, more strong potentially. But I think, I don't know if you guys agree. Just start with you, Via. If the Nuggets can get the first or second win under their belts, like let's say the Nuggets go 2-up in this series, hell of a chance. If they can just find that next level and what you said.
Yeah, I think what you said. Yeah, it might not even be necessary to win 2 in a row at the beginning. Just one of the first 2. Just steal one of the home games. For the Clippers, but just be 1-1 is that mental attitude, especially if when they're tired and you kind of go through the series and get the matchups going. So if they can steal one, especially, if they do it tired and didn't, Clippers have time to prepare for both teams. They didn't have to wait for the winner yesterday and figure it out. They can get the scouting reports on both teams. They played them enough. But Denver wasn't even, I'm pretty sure they weren't even thinking about the Clippers. You just have to go one game at a time. And if they can pull out one win tomorrow, just catch the Clippers off guard, like the Portland did to Lakers or Magic to the Bucks right away. Denver's better team than both of those. So it might be more interesting, and they can pull out the series. I still think they can. It's just kind of how sometimes it's just kind of coin flip, especially if you get to Game 7. Clippers are so deep, that's the problem. And if they kind of learned from their Mavericks matchup of not letting up when they have the lead and not letting teams be in the games with them, it's going to be tough. I mean, they just the length of their bench. You have a starting guard as your starting point guard and Reggie Jackson being your third on the depth chart is just brutal.
It's very brutal. Benjamin, what needs to happen for this to happen in a week and a half, 2 weeks' time?
I think matchups are key. I think thinking about who matches up best, because I mean, look, if you think about, I think Jeremy Grant is going to be a really big X factor in this series, defensively especially. I think we need to play Nuggets basketball. I think we need to, there were too many times in that Jazz series where we fell into just playing, letting the Jazz control the tempo of the game. I think we need to, try as hard as we can to be controlling the game at as many points as possible. It sounds cliche, but
It's not.
And I just, we need our superstar to play like a superstar. We need Nikola Jokic to dominate, because I don't think that Zubac can guard him.
No.
I don't think that. I think he's too big for Montrezl Harrell. I'm not saying Montrezl Harrell isn't a good defender. I just think he's too big for him. And depending on the kind of coverage that they throw at him, how they go about doubling him, because they're going to have to double him. If they don't double him, he's going to feast. So the other guys are going to have to step up, when he manages to pass it out of the double as well. So there's a lot of factors that it's going to take. The Clippers are a good team, and like Boyer said, they're a deep team as well. So it's going to take the biggest effort on everyone's part.
By the way, Benjamin, I know you're on your phone. I actually played a GIF of Doc Rivers looking annoyed. So just in case anybody wants to see that. Hopefully we see that happen this week. Didn't realize whenever I play that actually leaves. There we go. So it's, yeah.
Need to keep that.
Anyway,
keep that handy.
Keep it very handy. Like Doc Rivers and the Clippers, Brad, have had a few days off more than us. I mean, they've been Sunday. I don't think for a professional sport it's going to make a massive difference, but even now it might make a small difference. What has to happen, Brad? You got the last word here, man. What has to happen?
Yeah, well, consistency is going to be key for definite. Jamal needs to keep playing consistently, good basketball, hitting good free throws, keeping it moving. Defensively needs to be solid. MPJ needs to carry on with building his progress defensively, especially. I think he's got a hell of a lot better through that Jazz series. Game 2 and game 3, they picked him out, bullied him, and I think Malone's had a little word with him, and he's put it on himself, and he's got better, definitely. The only downside to that is the offensive side of him has now deteriorated a little bit, so he needs to get that back going. That would be nice. If we can get them 3 clicking, Murray, Jokic, and MPJ, that would be absolutely brilliant for us in this series, especially.
30 points each, bro.
Yeah, that would be perfect. We get that done. We're gonna win. We're gonna go for it. Win it in 7. Again, let's go for it.
I said 7, right enough. Actually,
let's go 7.
Nuggets and how many?
6.
Benjamin, please say 4. Please say 4.
No, I won't say 4. I want to say 4, but I'm not going to say 4. I'm gonna say 7. I mean, we're the Nuggets.
That's true.
We like doing it in 7.
Well, I'll tell you what, lads. If
do it easy,
and it is that Tuesday morning where the Broncos are playing as well, let's do it live on here. We react to the game live, and I'm sitting like half and half shirt trying to cry and not. I say we do it. I'm going to say Nuggets. I said Nuggets in 7 last night. I'm going to say Nuggets in 6. Against the Clippers. Now, game 1, gentlemen, I know this matters more to people in the UK and Ireland, but I have to advertise this because, oh my God, it's actually on TV now. So
I love to have Danny Green on there.
With a picture of Danny Green, yeah.
I'm just trying to read the information box. Yeah, they've got that right. Okay. Some of the things that they have shown.
That's typical, isn't it? Can't even get the right LA team. That's how biased
has been shocking. But yes, right enough at LA, and then they put the wrong thing on. I can't even. I'm too tired to even laugh at that, lads. But it's a pleasure having you on. Let's regroup and cry or go nuts on Friday night. I think enjoy the game. Anybody watching? Obviously, if you're in Europe, it should be on Sky Sports Italy, NBA TV France, Germany, Arena Sport in Serbia, or NBA League Pass. If you can't be bothered to look for any of that, have a lovely evening, gentlemen. Enjoy the sleep. And let's go and shock professional sports everywhere.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you.
Good evening. Go Nuggets.
Go Nuggets.